Hi, welcome to the Cafe of Dreams, where we're serving up life made to order. I'm Lynn Kitchen, and I am your host. But I'm no ordinary chef, and this is no ordinary cafe. But you're in the right place. You know, we've been talking about designing our life here today, and I was going to say that, you know, as long as you are breathing another 365 days, you will create a year of your life. But you have a choice. You can live it one of two ways, by design or by default. And we realize that some people, most people in fact, spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their life and planning the dreams that they would love to live. So let me ask you, don't you want to hang out here in the cafe with us and design your dreams? Otherwise, you could be cooking by default, which could lead to some rather nasty experiences. I was just telling a group of my patrons here that I remember I used to always cook by default, never planning anything. In fact, I used to be an expert at default disasters. Like this. I remember the first kitchen that I ever built was in a restaurant that I called the Victim Diner. I was always cooking by default, never designing anything, no planning, no dreaming, no designing, only reacting in the Victim Diner. The problem with cooking in that kitchen was that all of the ingredients were just so limited. Every recipe called for 4 cups of fear, 2 teaspoons of blame, and 2 pounds of anger. Intuition was an ingredient I never used in the Victim Diner. If I had, I would have shut down that place a long time ago because I had a bad feeling about it all along. But I ignored my intuition, and it got easier to ignore over time because, as you may suspect, the Victim Diner was a very popular place. Even though the food tasted so bitter, at least you got a lot of it, because every entree came with 2 big side dishes of panic and drama. You know, I used to think that I was the one being cooked in the kettle. I became crusty, hard-boiled, and nearly hopeless. So what did it take for me to change? Well, secretly simmering on the back burner was a big pot of resentment. And one day, it spilled over, caught fire, and burned down my kitchen. And for somebody with the name of Lynn Kitchen to have burnt down her own kitchen, that was no fun. But you know, that fire taught me something, what I did not want. Life has a way of teaching us that, right? What we don't want. So I built a new kitchen. So how do you know when you have built yourself a Victim Diner? Well, first, you notice that you are blaming bad things that happen to you on other people, on outside circumstances, or on karma. That's kind of superstitious. Or you begin to notice that your predominant emotions throughout the day are blame, fear, and anger. If you're cooking with those ingredients, you are making some very bitter food. Your cakes aren't even sweet. They're full of drama, right? Another way to tell is that you hear yourself saying, I have to, all the time. I have to go to work now. I have to take care of this situation first. Or I have to take care of someone else first before I can even think about my own dream. You're in the Victim Diner. And intuition, that's an ingredient you probably are not using in the Victim Diner. You're too busy putting out fires and dealing with stuff outside yourself. You're not paying attention to your own intuitive voice. So this could be a recipe for disaster for you. Default disasters, not living consciously by design. And what happens is you become the stew. You're now in the pot boiling over. And so like me, you could have had a pot of resentment on the back burner, simmering and then boiling over until you could burn down your kitchen. So how many of you have had a big blow in your life? Or maybe something that you have lost. Maybe you've lost everything. Maybe you've had a bad divorce, or you've lost your job. Maybe you've gone through a bankruptcy, or you've suffered a major illness or setback, and you've lost your self-esteem, lost your pride, lost your way. I've been there. So I know from that it is truly a difficult situation. But you can stop, you can look around, and if you're quiet enough, something in you discovers that when the house burns down, that's when you can see the stars. Life is a mystery, and there is an invisible force pulling each of us, no matter how low we get or how bad things get. There's a positive force pulling us forward, saying, brush that off and learn, and now build something that's better. It's a new day. You're in the right place. At the Cafe of Dreams, we recreate our lives again. We can create a new transformed life. So you might like to ask yourself this question today. If you could completely rebuild your life, what would your life look like? What would you love? Yes, I built a new kitchen. Come back next time and find out just what kind of kitchen I built next. See you next time.